Hola, it's Kaipacha with the weekly Pele report. All right, frickin' Wednesday, June 17th, coming down to the Machuca Rio. It has not been this full in ages. This is gonna be amazing. I mean, but the problem is it's gonna be loud. So we'll just have to see what goes on. Moon is in Taurus, moving on through Gemini, but we are preparing. May as well start preparing now, ladies and gentlemen, for what? The total solar eclipse. The sun and the moon both go into Cancer, conjunct the north node of the moon at 29 Gemini. On well, it depends on where you are on the planet, obviously. It's happening on Saturday in some places, on Sunday here in Costa Rica. And that eclipse is total because it is so close to the node. It is also in conjunct 150 degrees from Saturn. So we might be talking about that a little bit. Check it out, man. Oh my God. I was down here a couple of weeks ago. This was like almost dry. What else is happening today? Mercury stations and goes retrograde. Whoa, Nelly. We've got what then? Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, moon's nodes, and then Neptune. Neptune goes retrograde next Monday. I mean, this is like reform, rethink, rehabilitate, revolt. I mean, it's just like, yeah, all these retrogrades. Look at this, man. This is really absolutely gorgeous. Ow! Yeah, baby. Oh my God. Nice. Nice. All right. I don't want to get lost in nature here. It's too easy. Anyway, what we do have is Venus will be going, she stations and goes direct next week. And it's very interesting because she actually stations for 27 hours at 5 degrees 20 minutes right there in Gemini. Finally, after weeks of Venus in the underworld, she's turning around. She's coming back. She's gonna rise again in the east. Look at downriver there. You can see a little bit of a ways. Try to hold that camera still. All right, anyway. Let me just find a spot and talk about these days. They are very powerful days of transformation, and we want to use the stars to guide us. Oh yeah. Okay, I mean, it's kind of like I want to get out of the way, you know, so you can see the falls. I mean, that is a beautiful swimming hole when the water's not moving that fast. I hope I don't have to shout too much. That's the problem, like I said. So I'm going to try to get as close to the microphone as I can. Ow! Yeah, baby. We want to be like that river. That is cardinal water. Cancer is cardinal water. This eclipse is in cardinal water. Look at that water. That water moves everything out of its way. It takes down everything, everybody. It moves huge boulders. Boom, 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 boom. We're not talking fixed water, Scorpio. That's big lakes. Okay, the Great Lakes or whatever, you know, or the Black Sea or whatever, you know. So we got lakes, and then of course you've got, you know, Pisces, mutable water. Like I say, I kind of see Pisces more as being ether. You know, maybe it's clouds, fog, steam. If it's got any physical substance at all, it's so spiritual, multi-dimensional. It's only got a tiny little dipper you know, down here in the third dimension of matter and space and time, Pisces is kind of like, oh. Anyway, what I spaced out, because I got lost in nature back there, was Mars. Mars is square the moon's nodes now. Okay, it's at 25 degrees. The nodes are at 29. It's moving 26, 27, 28, 29. On the 28th, about 10 days from now, it's going to go into Aries. And even though it's still within a couple of degrees, it's different signs. It's out of, you know, out of the mutable angle. So, but at least 10 days. Mars squaring the moon's nodes. I talked about Mars being the can opener. Okay, right? You know, well, you know, it's more than the can opener. It's also the scalpel, and it is also the warrior. And when it is square the moon's nodes, okay, it points to a time of breaking, cutting cords, cutting ties, okay, cutting with the past, letting go of the south node, moving towards that north node. And this is what we want to talk about. We had, okay, the lunar eclipse, okay, when the moon was on the south node, that was June 5th. Now she comes around, new moon, she's on her own north node. All planets are more powerful on their north node. So this is a very emotional, this is dealing with the past. This is breaking free, cutting loose from ancient times. That's what this whole year is about. That's what this whole decade is about. This Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto conjunction is setting the tone. It's going to take a few years, like I said, closer to 6. The next 6 years. Okay, and so what we're really doing is we're at the start of the tunnel, folks. We're at the start of the change. And we want to be like that river. We want to keep on going, okay? I mean, this is just, I don't believe in accidents. Astrology, studying it for 40 years, has proven to me over and over and over again, when you look back, there were no mistakes. There were no coincidences. There were no accidents. There's dharma, karma, synchronicity, you name it, okay? But we are all one part of this tremendous cosmic matrix. And this hologram reflects everything else, everything else. We are inseparable. It is a doggone illusion that we are separate. And we are getting, the more that we awaken, the more that we evolve, the more we are realizing, oh, for better or for worse, you know, with COVID or not, you know, we are on the same tiny little planet, you know, bolting billions of miles an hour through space. What did I read? They've now kind of proven that there are at least 36 other intelligent civilizations in our galaxy. Oh yeah. Call them in, man. We need some intelligence around here. But anyway, so what I'm saying is, yes, indeed, okay, Black Lives Matter, and, okay, Yellow Lives Matter, and Red Lives Matter, and White Lives Matter, and children's lives matter, and little girls' lives matter, and animals' lives matter, and flowers' lives matter. What we want to do is we want to keep the momentum. We want to keep the revolution. You know, I mean, it's like we want to give, you know, thanks for this wake-up call from George, right? You know, and just like take it and say, you know what? We want to reform not only the police departments, we want to reform the governments, okay? We want to reform the Electoral College and give every person a real vote in the United States, okay? We want to reform the healthcare systems, okay? I mean, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Okay, it's so expensive. And of course, we won't even get into that. We've got Uranus and Taurus now. Look out. Where do you think these trillions of dollars are coming from? Thin air? What do you think the value of the dollar is going to be shortly? Okay, you know, it's just like, cut it out. This is just like an illusion. Oh, here, we'll just throw money at it. I mean, what a capitalistic, you know, materialistic view, reality, born out of thousands of years of patriarchy. And let's just look at this. And I want everybody to know I am not man bashing. We are all masculine and feminine. Okay, we are all Venus and Mars. Okay, we have both yin and yang. However, we have all been out of balance for thousands of years. And if you got the yin-yang symbol, the white has been huge. And the dark has been a tiny little wave. The dark, the black, the inner, the feminine, okay, the emotional, the human, the compassionate. Okay, this is like really, we want to be really looking at what? You know, where we probably would not be where we are today if what? If we had halfway decent educational systems. Families have been, okay, you know, it's all been about business. It's all been about, you know, success and financial and, you know, corporations, and forget about the families, forget about the kids, you know, forget about the schools. Don't pay teachers hardly diddly squat. And then what happens? All the people who really know their stuff don't want to work for nothing. So they're going to go someplace else. Teachers should be some of the highest paid people on the planet. They are guiding the future evolution of our future generations. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, I was a teacher, you know. I scrambled. I was going in the hole. Every year I had to borrow money. Every year that I taught, I saw that I was going deeper and deeper in debt, you know. Just like, this is not gonna work. Maybe I should try astrology. Anyway, what else? Not just, you know, and it's not just, oh, let's give them more computers, okay, more artificial intelligence, start, you know, electronically, you know, shooting them in the womb or whatever, like, knock it off. I am talking about a full, well-rounded masculine and feminine education. I am talking about art programs. I am talking about music programs. I'm talking about wood carving, you know, and molding and drawing and shaping forms and, you know, building things and cooking. And I mean, it's just like, you know what? Let's have a well-rounded education where people are human and they are creative. And they've got theater and dancing and singing, and everybody learns socialization, not screenization. Yeah, man, we're turning out a bunch of screen people. We need human people with emotional bodies and astral bodies and etheric, healthy, strong immune systems are made, okay, through, okay, individuation and being honored and respected for your unique differences, unity and diversity. So I'm saying it's not over yet. This eclipse happening in conjunct Saturn, okay, Saturn is at, you know, 0 degrees of Aquarius, about to go back into Capricorn. Look out, okay, Mars into Aries, Saturn back into Capricorn. We're going to take a few steps backward before we go forward. We're going to see some clampdowns or holdbacks, or, you know, It's going to be, we're not getting out of this easy, unscathed. Okay, we're not going back to some normal. Okay, we're going forward into a whole new world, a whole new reality, and we got to push it. Now's the time to take big deep breaths, do your pranayama, do your breath of fire, do your pushing, and we're gonna birth this new paradigm. Yeah. And so what we can see coming when Mars goes into Aries, okay, at the end of this month. And somebody even emailed me about this. Why is Mars staying in Aries until January? Oh my God. Mars goes around every 2 years. I'll talk about that later. But what I want to say is, it's going to be squaring the old paradigm, the old laws, the old ways, the old rules, the old authorities, the old uniforms. Okay? I mean, let's redo the army. Let's stop making so many bombs. Okay, and making economies based, okay, on military spending. It's insane. Costa Rica is just like so freaking cool down here. You know what they did? We're surrounded like Nicaragua. COVID's going crazy because they're in denial and they don't even do any testing. And Panama is also going crazy. And so Costa Rica is sandwiched between these two countries. And what do? They got truck drivers coming across the borders, with the virus. And so what do? They take them and they made special dormitories where they can stay, and they feed them and house them for free, for nothing. And when they test okay, they just let 35 of them, go back on their way. I mean, and this is a small, relatively poor country, okay? But it's got heart. This is the difference between, okay, this cold, hard, ruthless, I, me, my individual versus we are one in Lakesh Alakin, the feminine, holding, nurturing, protecting, the Cancer mother that is about rocking the baby. Sun comes out, man. I was afraid it was gonna rain on me this afternoon. It rains like every freaking day down here. Oh my God. Anyway, I'm just rambling because it's kind of a rambling day. The river kind of got into me. But let's really look at the mantra here, yeah? As we close a long, sad history of life on planet Earth, I vow to bring my open heart to the future now being birthed. What this is saying, okay, is really, and some people may disagree. What do you mean long, sad history? If you look at the amount of violence, at the number of wars, okay, at the famine and the people starving and dying and not being cared for or tended to, and the way that we have polluted the waters and the Amazon and the fires and the air, it's abominable what we've done to this planet. And this is just like I say, this is our time. We've got the momentum. I mean, people are out in the streets speaking their truth, writing, speaking, new websites, new movements. I mean, it's just like, and all the splintered movements. The age of Aquarius that we're talking about is all these different groups. Like, I'm talking at like 3 different festivals, solstice festivals, and they're put on by 6 different groups coming together, to make this one festival. This is people cooperating. This is people caring. This is people putting their own self-interest aside for the good of the whole, the good of the many. So it's like we want to start her story. Okay, get out of his story and go into her story. And just like, and this is going to be accomplished very beautifully, very smoothly if possible, but very with strength. We've got, you can see in that chart, Black Moon Lilith is conjunct Chiron. And don't forget about this Chiron, the wounded healer in Aries. Mars is going to hit Chiron. Mars is going to hit Eris, okay, multiple times over these next few months. Things are still going, reform, retrench, revolt, until Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto go direct in September. So just look at June, July, August, most of September, these 4 months, okay, this is really where we are at. We're at the seed. We are the seed people, and this is the seed time. And this solar eclipse is like, you know, powerful spiritual energy from deep space, you know, inoculating us as individuals and planet Earth. The ancients feared these eclipses, okay, because they feared the unknown, they feared the radical, they feared the extreme, they feared the sudden. Very simple people all through ancient times. Because why? The dragon swallows the light of the sun. And there's a time period where the rays of the sun no longer reach planet Earth, particularly for this solar eclipse. Very exact. And that is when the auric shield of the Earth is broken, and the energy from the galactic center, from the black hole, from deep space, from Andromeda and other galaxies, just comes in and whoosh. Crazy time, man. This is gonna be a crazy weekend. Crazy time. Lunacy. Oh, por Dios. But it's gonna also be what? The start of the 30-day cycle. We're starting a new lunar cycle. So it's very powerful. Square Mars on the nodes. This is gonna be, it is time to rock and roll. So, as we close a long, sad history of life on planet Earth, I vow to bring my open heart to the future now being birthed. I know it can be challenging to be a warrior with an open heart. This is Mars and Venus, Aries and Libra, self and other. Okay, and it's just like we can do it. This is the time when we can prove to ourselves that we can be tough and we can be vulnerable. And we can be strong and we can be intimate and sensitive. We do not have to be either one or the other. We can carry our open heart right behind that strong shield and bring in that new paradigm. Ow! Yeah, baby. Good luck, man. Hang in there. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.